Welcome to today's webinar, Comprehensive Improvement Planning for Districts and Schools and eProve. This webinar is brought to you by District 180 in the Office of Continuous Improvement and Support at the Kentucky Department of Education. Here are our objectives for today. By the end of this webinar, you will be able to understand the regulation governing improvement planning for districts and schools, locate the updated goal building templates for districts and schools, and navigate eProve, ensuring successful uploading of improvement plans and attachments. The agenda for this webinar is on the screen. To accomplish our objectives, we will engage in a series of topics including the following: a review of the improvement planning regulation and improvement planning timeline, the naming of diagnostics, compliance monitoring, 2019-2020 goal building templates, posting requirements for districts and schools, eProve, resources available to help you with planning, and contact information should you have additional inquiries not discussed during today's webinar. 703 KAR 5225 establishes the continuous improvement planning process for districts and schools. This regulation outlines key components of the plan, defines CDIP and CSIP, establishes the reporting timeline, and emphasizes posting requirements of the CDIP-CSIP to the district's website or school's website. The improvement planning timeline is on the screen and is broken into a series of phases. Each phase runs the course of several months. However, all diagnostics at both the district and school levels are available in eProve beginning in August of each year. You are encouraged to proactively plan versus waiting for a deadline or timeline. The timeline for this year is as follows. Phase 1, August 1st through October 1st, Continuous Improvement Diagnostic for Schools. Continuous Improvement Diagnostic for Districts. Phase 2, October 1st through November 1st, the Needs Assessment for Schools, the Needs Assessment for Districts, School Assurances, District Assurances, School Safety Report, District Safety Report. Phase 3, November 1st through January 1st, Comprehensive Improvement Plan for Schools, Comprehensive Improvement Plan for Districts, Closing the Achievement Gap Diagnostic, Executive Summary for Schools, Executive Summary for Districts, the Superintendent Gap Assurance, Title I Annual Review Diagnostic. Phase 4, January 1st through December 31st. This is used for progress monitoring. Several diagnostics have newly added questions to consider. The Continuous Improvement Diagnostic for Districts and for Schools is the simplest diagnostic to complete, as it only requires a signature and date from either the superintendent or principal of the respective institution. The signature is indicative of a commitment to improvement planning at both levels. It is also a good resource to download and save to your desktop after completion, as it lists the improvement timeline and could serve as a good reminder as to what is due and when. Likewise, because plans are to be uploaded to either the district or school website, this diagnostic is helpful to the community who may be interested in the contents of the plan. The diagnostic gives each reader a working definition of what a CDIP or CSIP is and which stakeholders are involved in improvement planning, ensuring students achieve at high levels. Because each district and school has multiple plans in its library, KDE recommends the careful naming of plans to ensure these are easily discernible from one year to the next. Prior to opening the new diagnostics for 2019-2020, please rename previous year's diagnostics to include the year. For example, 2017-2018 Title I Annual Review, 2017-2018 Closing the Achievement Gap, 2018-2019 Title I Annual Review, and 2018-2019 Closing the Achievement Gap, etc. In addition to renaming any documents to include the corresponding year, please lock the diagnostics to prevent additional changes. Modifying the name to include the year and locking the diagnostic will help to alleviate any confusion when attempting to distinguish this year's diagnostics from any previous years. For additional tips on renaming and locking diagnostics, please consult the eProve user manual. After renaming and locking any previous year's diagnostics, begin new diagnostics by following the steps outlined on pages 8 through 10 of the eProve user manual, which can be found on the Comprehensive Improvement Planning website. After beginning the new diagnostics, rename them to include the current school year to help distinguish these from the archive diagnostics. For example, 2019-2020 Title I Annual Review, 2019-2020 Closing the Achievement Gap, etc. Schools and districts must annually develop an improvement plan and therefore must begin new diagnostics. The Kentucky Department of Education, KDE, is required to ensure districts and schools comply with the planning timeline outlined in 703 KAR 5225. Once the planning phase has come to a close, KDE will monitor completion in the eProve system and contact districts and schools regarding the missed deadline and/or incomplete diagnostics. Please ensure primary contacts and/or heads of institution are updated in eProve so that communication reaches the appropriate party. More information on how to update heads of institutions and primary contacts will follow in the eProve section of this presentation. A sample compliance email is on the screen. This sample pertains to what a district would receive from KDE. The school level email is similar. However, it lists those diagnostics schools are responsible for completing. When emails are sent after the end of a phase, please read the email carefully, as not only does the email include which diagnostics are not started or are incomplete, but it also shares which are complete for the phase at hand.
Let's look at the offline templates that are used in the development of improvement plans for districts and schools during Phase 3 of the continuous improvement process. These templates are downloaded to a computer from the Comprehensive Improvement Planning website. Teams of stakeholders collaborate to determine the goals, objectives, strategies, and activities that will address the needs that were identified in Phase 2. This year, you will notice several changes. The 6 required district goals are proficiency, separate academic indicator, achievement gap, graduation rate, growth, and transition readiness. The required school goals include the following. For elementary and middle school, proficiency, separate academic indicator, achievement gap, and growth. For high school, proficiency, separate academic indicator, achievement gap, graduation rate, and transition readiness. New this year are sections where additional considerations for TSI and CSI schools will be addressed. Once completed to satisfaction, each template is uploaded into the eProve platform as an attachment to the corresponding diagnostic. The Continuous Improvement Planning Regulation provides requirements for the online posting of comprehensive improvement plans for schools and districts. The CDIP for each district must be posted to the district's website. Each diagnostic that makes up the plan must be posted, including the executive summary for districts, continuous improvement diagnostic for districts, needs assessment diagnostic for districts, comprehensive improvement plan for districts, superintendent gap assurances, and the district assurances. It is important to remember to also include any attachments that may have been referenced and uploaded in the diagnostic sections of eProve. If you link any attachment, please ensure that permissions are enabled so that anyone in the public can view those documents as well. Although the district safety report is referenced in the timeline and phases, it does not have to be posted as part of the district's plan. This diagnostic is a requirement of another statute and is not part of the actual CDIP. The CSIP for each school must also be posted to the school's website. Again, this includes all diagnostics and any attachments as uploaded in eProve. Although the school safety report and the Title I annual review are referenced in the timeline and phases, They do not have to be posted as part of the school's plan. These diagnostics are requirements of other programs and laws and are not part of the actual CSIP. The Kentucky Department of Education provides many resources to assist districts and schools as they engage in the improvement process. The Comprehensive Improvement Planning website provides information to further the understanding of continuous improvement, as well as tools designed to incorporate the key core work processes that drive strategic decision-making and guide the development, refinement, and implementation of work systems. Additional information about the key core work processes can be found on the Continuous Improvement for Gap Closure webpage. Continuous improvement coaches are available to provide professional learning to schools and districts around the implementation of sustainable systems as they strive to close achievement gaps. The Comprehensive Support and Improvement Educational Recovery website is where schools identified for Comprehensive Support and Improvement, or CSI, will find information and resources to assist them in their turnaround efforts. There is also a page for Targeted Support and Improvement, TSI schools, including information about our Kentucky Hub schools that provide opportunities to see and hear best and promising practices in action. The Evidence-Based Practices website includes a wealth of resources and links to support the ESSA requirement that school improvement efforts be rooted in evidence-based activities, strategies, or interventions.
Let's take a look at some important components of the eProof platform. In this section, I will show you how to update your head of institution, how to create a new diagnostic, how to add an attachment, and how to know when you're done. One of the first things you will notice when you log into the eProof platform is that the partner company listed at the top has changed. Advanced Ed, whose platforms have supported Kentucky's continuous improvement work for many years, has recently merged with a company named Measured Progress. Their new joint effort is called Cognia. In the coming months, the old Advanced Ed URLs will be phased out. You will want to go ahead and replace all of your existing favorites links with new Cognia links. The new homepage is www.cognia.org. There have been no substantive changes to the eProof platform or the tools housed within as a result of the merger. First, let's see how you can change your head of institution. This year, you can change the head of institution field on your own. After completing the following steps, it will take 5 to 10 days for the new head of institution to populate on forms. The head of institution is the name that populates on the diagnostics. In the upper left-hand corner of your My Journey dashboard, you will see your institution's name in bold print. Under your institution's name is a gray link that says Institution Update. Click the link to update your head of institution. Here you can see all of the information connected to your institution. In the contact box, you can enter the relevant information you need to change. When you click Send, your request will be processed by staff at Cognia and not KDE. In addition to updating the head of institution when needed, it is also the responsibility of the district or school to manage its eProof users. Districts and schools are responsible for deleting accounts no longer in use, changing the status of any user, disabling accounts, etc. Any user who contributed to a diagnostic but is no longer an employee of the district and/or needs access to a specific school or district's plan cannot be deleted. Those accounts can only be disabled. Each year, districts and schools are required to create new versions of each diagnostic. This helps to account for the minor changes to compliance that occur from year to year. It is very important that you start a new diagnostic each year. Districts and schools that update prior year diagnostics instead of creating new diagnostics will be marked out of compliance. To create a new diagnostic, you should click the New Diagnostics button in the upper right-hand corner of your diagnostics dashboard. From the drop-down menu, you should select Browse Content Library. After you have accessed the content library, you can select the diagnostic you wish to create. Notice here that we have two versions of the Continuous Improvement Diagnostic on the screen. One is for schools and one is for districts. If you select the wrong version for your institution, you will be marked out of compliance. After you have found the diagnostic you wish to open, click the vertical ellipsis at the end of the row. You will then select Start a Diagnostic with Custom Content from the drop-down menu. As you begin your new diagnostic, you should complete all of the fields at the top. Be sure to rename your diagnostic so it is easily identifiable. As you complete diagnostics, you will occasionally be able to upload attachments. The attachment feature can help save time and prevent unnecessary typing. Attachments can be either documents or links. It is best practice to upload all documents, but if you decide to link to a document, it is important that any document links are set up to allow for public viewing. When you get to a question that allows for attachments, you will see an attachments link under the question. Click the link to add an attachment. When you open the menu, you will see a list of previously attached documents. You can see here that we do not have any previously attached documents, and an option to add an attachment. Click the Add an Attachment button to begin the upload process. The attachment dialog box will open. Simply drag and drop your file into the gray area. Give your file an easily identifiable name and write a brief description. Click Next to follow the prompts to complete the upload process. After you complete your diagnostic, you will want to check yourself for compliance. Institutions must complete the required diagnostics prior to the established timeline discussed earlier in this webinar. To ensure that you are compliant, you want to look for a blue circle with a check mark next to the name of each diagnostic. You may lock your diagnostics to prevent further changes, but you are not required to lock diagnostics for compliance. This is what a compliant document will look like. You can see that this diagnostic has a blue circle with a white check mark. Any other symbol here would indicate that this diagnostic is not complete and therefore not compliant. If you have questions regarding improvement planning or eProve, please contact the District 180 branch of the Office of Continuous Improvement and Support at 502-564-2116.